play. So this play is a little unique in that I believe what has happened is the team went from a kick formation. It looks like it's a try. And instead of just running it out of that formation, they shift into a normal under snapper. And the referee, and I actually can't fault the referee for doing this, because he, at this moment in time, is thinking, we've got an exposed line of scrimmage. They're not kicking the ball. So let me see if I can get close enough to rule on the goal line. As it turns out, probably not a bad thing, although our wing at the top is in great position to see what's going on. I don't know that I would encourage this at this late of notice. But yeah, you can see the referee trying to get under the, oh, Mike Kelly wants some more video size. There we go. That's about the best I can do this evening, Mike. Thank you. So anyway, I don't think I would downgrade this referee for trying to get in position, but we've also taken our eyes off of our responsibilities with movement on the line of scrimmage and just some of the normal pre-snap things. Anything, Scott or Hickey, you would add to that?
Yeah, I think we've talked about moving during a play and that we want to be stationary as much as possible. And so, again, I agree with you. I would not downgrade here. He's trying to get into the position here. But perhaps just stay put and then move as the play moves.
What's interesting is he is in great position for a kick. I like the
Absolutely.
width. This is where we want to be, maybe a fuzz deeper, maybe a yard or two just to get a little bit of angle, but I like the width. And we'll see some of these plays where the referee is too tight and it may even cause some problems. So I think you can see everything in a good position here. Okay, let me jump to the next play. So this is
Kirk,
going to be
make a comment on the last one?
Yes.
Isn't our mechanic philosophy that if a fire play such as this develops, that referee has sideline and pylon and umpire has goal line?
Yes. The difference here is this isn't a fire play. This is a formation change from kick to quarterback with a fullback and a tailback. And then as I look at this in this slow motion, watch how the players are still moving at the snap. That should have been shut down. It may be too choppy on your end, but you can see the tailback is still moving forward at the snap. So that should have been a false start. And I'm guessing had that referee stayed in position, he probably would have, yeah, you're right. It could have been an illegal motion, Jim. Good call. Had he stayed in his proper position, he might have been able to see this back moving forward. But yeah, Saki, your point is well made. You stay in position and then move to the pylon as needed. In this case, he tried to get ahead of that because he saw it was going to be a running play because of the formation. They were no longer in a kick formation, but it's like 1 in a million. We probably won't see that again. All right, next play. Let's see what we got here. So this is a blocked kick, and what the emphasis here, and I guess Hickey mentioned this is actually on the test, so those of you on the call get the advantage of a rule test answer or a mechanic test answer. Watch the near wing. And we analyzed this a little bit earlier tonight. Take a look. I'm assuming what has happened here is the team lined up in a try. They had a foul. The wing was under the post. The wing didn't get the down marker reset to the 8-yard line. So I think we're still in a try situation. So there's a couple of things that I think we'd want to make sure we get cleaned up here. The wing, you still have that responsibility, even though you're under the post while we administered a 5-yard penalty, probably a dead ball, false start or something. And then really the key here is watch the wing, the near wing. We do not want to come in and signal no good from the wing position. Even if it was a running play and he was short of the goal line, we don't signal no good on a try from the wing. So in this case, the way this should have played out, the wing just sees the ball blocked. The referee, everybody knows it's no good. I suppose the guys under the post could signal no good, but then nobody's looking at them for any information. They see where the ball is. So no, do not signal no good on a blocked kick from the wing, or if they were to run this. Anything, Lewis, Saki, Hickey? Anything else you see?
No, I just want to agree that you don't signal, but I think that, one thing he should do, I like how he pinches in. I like how he comes into the pile, probably blowing his whistle. That's all good. But the signal is the thing that I think I would agree. Just don't signal. Just blow the whistle, get him to stop.
Yeah, my thing would be, do we like the R's position at the beginning of this, and who has the whistle on this?
I'd say either one of those officials, the wing or the referee. Once it's obvious no good, we've got a whistle, right?
Yeah, I think the referee is probably the one that should be getting the whistle, because the wing really shouldn't be watching back there for the kicker and holder. He should be watching the middle. The referee is going to be the one watching to see that it got blocked right away. The back judge might not really have a good look to see did that really get kicked or not. He might hear it if there's not enough fans, but R is going to be the one that has the whistle here. It looks like Rouse said the same thing.
Yeah.
And we need to be careful.
And the fact that it's a try.
Well, that too. We need to be careful in case this is a field goal attempt.
Yep. Yeah, if it's a field goal, we should be reminding each other it's ball's live. We don't shut that down if it's no good. We got a live ball. I think it's very important to communicate live ball on a field goal. All right, let's jump to the next play. What do we have here? Oh, I've got a fail on this one. So this is a lack of focus, and I think this is even a try. Our near wing is failing to realize that he has goalpost responsibility. I would go as far back to say pregame is when you figure out when the right-footed kicker is going in this direction, I'm going to go under the post, and so that we're ready and aware. And so what happens here is the referee's trying to get the wing under the post. Finally, he realizes, he tries to run under the post. The ball's kicked. It's just a bad look. That's a fail. Lewis, I think you had a comment earlier on this one. How would you manage this better?
Yeah, so if I saw this and we saw that we were about to line up and we weren't in position at this point, we could either kill it. I don't know if I'd kill it when it's this close to the snap, but I would probably just tell the umpire to go underneath from here. I mean, it's only a couple steps back from where he would be. He's going to be in position to keep watching what he's watching while he's stepping back. But right now, this wing, he's completely out of the play. We have 4 officials on this play.
Yeah, and I think the foundation of this is white hats. There's no reason to hurry this ready for play whistle. Let's get ourselves set. Make sure that we're good to go. There's no reason to rush this. Again, I'm pretty sure this is a try. So umpires, I think you can help the white hat keep control of the snapper and make sure we're in position before we move too quick. If this is a field goal, we got to let it go.
Kirk, is wings, if you realize you're not going to make it, don't even attempt. And we do see the back judge making an adjustment. He goes under the middle. He's going to take that thing all on his own. So that's what we need the back judge to do. If he realizes he's going to be there, he's got to get under the middle, just like this guy did here.
Yeah, we got to do better. This is a fail.
And if it's a try, there's no clock. Let's just shut it down. Let's just reset. Get our wing underneath. We're not hurting the game. Field goal, no. We're going to let it go, especially if there's time involved.
All right, let's see what we got next. I think this is a poorly executed fake field goal, but we're going to see the holder. I think he ended up getting a bad snap, which kind of delayed his effort here. Kicker's going to fake the kick. Holder's going to step up and run. I think this is another reason why our mechanic of our referee being wider, if we were up back over here, bottom of the screen, I think we can see a lot more. And if this thing does come at us, we can take a step back. I just think our position is too tight here. It didn't affect the result.
Yeah, we've talked in previous weeks. Wider is better. Bigger vision. Don't be so tight. We don't need to be so tight. We expand out so we can see everything. Don't be so focused in this situation.
The other thing to think about, we got to prepare for everything. So pre-snap is always always important. Thinking about this head linesman here, he's at the line of scrimmage. The other wing must have been under the post. I think we need an awareness of where that line to gain is. In this case, it looks like it's 4th and a bunch. But if we are 4th and 3, I think we've got to get to that. After the play starts to move, we got to be aware of where that line to gain is, because you're on your own to get that spot, and it could end up right there at the line to gain. Lewis, you got anything to add on this one?
Not on this one. I think I agree. Same thing.
Yeah.
Wider's better. There's no reason to be right on top of things.
Well, the other thing I wanted to point out is watch the wing at the top of the screen. Look for the football. Looking back for a football at this point in time, I think is just not a good mechanic. There's a point we can turn around. There's no hurry to get the ball back in the field of play right now. The teams have got to separate. Let's make sure the dust settles, because somebody's upset here and somebody's celebratory. So let's keep our eyes on the field a little bit longer. Take another look. All right, so next play. Oh, talk us through this one, Hickey, as a back judge.
We've got a field goal attempt, long kick. Kick comes up short.
Looks like it bounces about halfway in the end zone.
Halfway in the end zone. A field goal is a scrimmage kick that can score. We need to come out. Let's get the no good signal, one swipe, and then a touchback signal.
We always talk that if it lands in the field of play and bounces into the end zone, we don't signal no good. We just go touchback.
We just go touchback. Correct.
If it lands in the end zone, we got 2 no good signals.
And if this kid's gonna try and run it out, obviously we're gonna kill it. Again, a field goal attempt is a punt scrimmage kick that can score. Once it crosses that goal line, we're done unless it goes between the uprights.
Yeah, so one tough coverage that we have here is if that ball, let's just do a big if, if it were to land at the 4 and it's kind of rolling towards the goal line, I think the wing and that back judge, probably more particularly the back judge, needs to come up and rule on that goal line. It's just barely going to roll into the end zone.
This is where I would advocate you can ball watch, which obviously I never advocate, but this is a 42-yard attempt. Just understand your situation, know what's going on. They're trying to score a field goal here, and if you can read the ball, then come up and protect that goal line if you need to.
Yeah, I would probably put forward that and I agree, ball watching is not a thing you do, except maybe here, because literally those 2 officials' job is to ball watch, to make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go. And until they know where it is, they need to watch that ball. Yes.
We're not protecting a returner here unless he's inside that goal line. But clearly they're trying to score a field goal here. And reading that ball, you're okay doing that in this situation.
Yeah, I'd like a no good signal when that ball lands in the end zone. All right, so now we're going to be, looks like this is a try. I assume it's a try. We're snapping from the 3. I like the umpire position. So we're going to be on the same side as the white hat, because we've got an exposed pylon here, as opposed to normal downs where we're opposite the white hat. I like the shading on the white hat side, protecting the snapper. So note how the holder is sitting here. Might be an indicator to the white hat there's something funky going to happen. Just a reminder, a lot of kids think that they can't have their knee on the ground and get up and run with the ball. The rule book allows them to be on a knee and get up and run. Matter of fact, the rule book allows them to be on a knee, take a high snap, go up, get the ball, come down, back to their knee, and then come back up and run with the ball. So that whole sequence is legal. But in this case, he's obviously in a crouch position, so there's some suspicion there from the white hat. Again, I think we could be a little wider. Great fake by that holder, rotating, and this is a fortunate pylon coverage. They actually ran it to our wing that's still at the goal line. Look how deep this wing is. It's just a great position, great look. He gets to the goal line as needed. He's deep, he's wide. I love it. Not sure that we need the back judge closing in on this so quick. Stay back at that end line. I don't think there's any reason for the back judge to come closing in here. I think the umpire should rotate to the goal line. I don't see him trying to rotate to help out a little bit at the goal line. I think just in case, if you could help by being at the goal line. Anybody else got anything they see on this one?
I agree on the back judge. Just stay back. This is the L's goal line. Just clean up and just keep everything in front of you. We're moving way too much. And when we move, we have talked a lot in the past. Our eyes are moving, we're way too close. We just stay back and watch.
So, Lewis, I'm going to play a what if on this one. I need a rule assistance. So let's say, I know it looks like it could happen here, but let's play this out as if the receiving team, the guy that's rushing to block the punt, let's say he goes into the knee of this kicker. Let's say that guy charging right there got into the leg while the fake kicker's leg is in the air. What do you have?
Well, if the most you could have would be a personal foul for a hit on a defenseless player, because he's not a kicker because he didn't actually kick the ball. So you cannot have roughing the kicker in this play because he didn't kick it. There's obviously some judgment involved. If he went at his knee and he's obviously in a defenseless position, I think it's pretty obvious that he's a defenseless player, and we should probably throw the flag for illegal contact on a defenseless player, because really there's no need for that contact at all. But the where that would matter, if this was a try, really doesn't matter that much in terms of enforcement. But if this was like 4th and 3, the difference is that if you called it roughing the kicker, they'd have a first down. If you called it what it's supposed to be and just a personal foul, then it would be 1st and or 4th and whatever you're at, 1.5. In this case, if he scored the touchdown too, remember that you would still keep the touchdown and they can enforce that penalty on the try or the kickoff as well.
Good point. So what about talk about roughing the snapper and holder in the same content? So how about this snapper? Let's just, again, I hate doing this, but I don't have film of everything. Let's just say that this holder doesn't get up and run, but he's not on his knee and gets blown up here. Mm-hmm. Is he protected even though he's not on his knee?
He is, because it says the definition of a holder is a player who controls the ball on the ground or on a kicking tee. And that seems like that would apply there. So even if the ball didn't get kicked, and maybe it didn't get kicked because he got clobbered, he's considered a holder because he meets that definition. The holder, he controls the ball on the ground in this case. So if he got hit, if he got lit up there, he has that protection, and that would be roughing the holder, which would be the first down.
Very good. So I assume at the point that he's no longer holding the ball, he's no longer protected. So you can tackle him because he's...
The rule book doesn't really clarify like it does with the kicker on when he stops being a holder. I actually asked George about this earlier this week, and he said that what we should consider is he's a holder until he's basically able to get up and protect himself. Kind of like a kicker's a kicker until he regains his balance. But a holder, even though it doesn't explicitly say that, the intent is he gets that status as a holder until he's kind of protecting himself. Roughing the snapper, I saw that Mike Skelly thing. Roughing the snapper is the same thing. He's a snapper until he has a reasonable opportunity to regain his balance and protect himself, or until he blocks or moves. So snapper, same thing. If he's had a chance to get himself protected, then he's no longer a snapper. and he, I don't want to say fair game, but it means that it's not going to be roughing the snapper anymore. So that's why, I always emphasize the definitions in the rule book, Rule 2, because those definitions are critical to knowing, does this apply in this situation? Does this apply in that situation? Because if you know when he's a kicker, when he's a snapper, that answers a lot of those questions. I think the holder one is one anomaly that it doesn't specifically say, but most of the time it has a pretty clear definition of when it should apply.
All right, so here looks like we've got your typical fake field goal. Holder picks up the ball, runs with it, goes to throw a pass. Scott, does he have passer protection? Can you have roughing the passer in this case?
Well, yeah, because a passer, I have the same page opened up here, is a player who throws a legal forward pass. He continues to be a passer until a legal forward pass ends or until he moves to participate in the play. So it would depend on when the contact happened. But yes, he's a passer because he threw a legal forward pass.
Thank you. So he's got the same protection as if the quarterback was throwing the ball.
Correct.
We talked in the pregame. We love the mechanic here. We've got a wing who makes the adjustment to the goal line, sees the score, rotates the body to watch who knows what, the throat slice or whatever, throat slit. We're watching the players rotating our body, not just looking at the goal line when we go for the signal. We talked in earlier as well. The mechanics manual clearly says the referee no longer signals or mirrors this signal to the press box. So white hats, keep your eyes on the play and don't rotate to the press box. Clean up players. Same thing, I think, is our back judge at the end line? Yeah, I think that's good. We've got that end line covered by our back judge. Anybody else got anything on this one that they see that we could do better?
This may seem a little strange, but wings before the game, the goal line markers, the G, you could pull them back. It looks like this guy wants a little more room, maybe, and that goal line pink thing or orange thing is in his way a little bit. Might want to think about moving those back.
Good
It's
point.
subtle. It's subtle.
It's a good pregame. Just move them back. Help yourself out.
Okay. So let's talk about how we handle ineligible receivers and again, this is a fire play, not a designed fake. So we've got a bad snap, ball's rolling around, and we got players that are going to scatter. Chuck, talk about what you do under the post to communicate eligibility of players.
So I'm talking to my wing of who I have eligible. I'm yelling out numbers who I have. 87-26. He's giving me 33-45. And if he's giving me 33-66, I will probably look at him and go, what are you talking about? Just eligible numbers in case we do have a fire play. Make it just so it's kind of in my head of who is eligible in case we do have that fire play.
We talked earlier tonight. I don't think it's necessary to remember all four numbers. Really, I think just saying it out loud just kind of sets it up in your head that you'll remember later if you need that information. So if you've got 17 and 5 in your head, and we do go into a fire play, you might go, wait a second, did you have number 34 as one of your eligibles? No, he caught the ball. Well, then we've got illegal touching or maybe even offensive pass interference.
Correct. And I would be, my red flags would go up if I've got ineligible numbers and somebody's yelling out, oh, I've got 55 eligible. I'll be like, wait, what? And we could have, say, 34 eligible, but is he eligible because he's on the line or not? I don't know. It's more who are the eligible players by number, and we may need to come to our wing
to see if somebody was covered up.
In case somebody was covered up later on, correct. But
and so here's another signal after.
If I've got 30 and 56, I'm not yelling out 56 because I know if I see 56 who's going to catch a fire play, obviously we've got a major problem.
Yeah. So look, watch the end of this play again. I don't know if this is the back judge that's probably the wing under the post here that signals no good. No, actually, he signals incomplete pass, doesn't he? Which is a valid signal in this case. I was going to get after him for signaling no good, but he's signaling an incomplete pass, which is applicable. We do have an incomplete pass. All right, so this play comes from somewhere up in the mountains, late fall day, and we're going to highlight the same issue about ineligibles. So we're going to look for ineligibles downfield on fire plays. Hopefully our guys under the post have announced who they think is eligible on their side, and we're going to see a floating lineman here. And I've got some arrows as to where guys are going to need to focus. So we've added a lot of responsibilities here to this white hat. He's got quarterback and he's got possibly a goal line here. This is just makes it tough for us. And so our line judge is frozen here. He needs to be moving down this back line to possibly see enough of a catch at the sideline here. Our referee is protecting his passer. And then once he gets enough of that, he can rotate to see what happens at the end of this play. I think it turns out to be an incomplete pass. Oh, no, it doesn't. He catches the ball, but ends up short of the goal. Just a tough play to cover. Anybody got anything else they can add to this?
This is absolutely impossible. I mean, where do you want let's just look at the referee. Where do we want him? He's got the goal line. He's got that catch, but his mentality is protect that quarterback. Stay with the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing I see on this is that wing stays under that upright too long. It should have been pretty obvious early on that we had a fire play. He should have been making his way over to that sideline. I mean, it's the pass is almost done, and he's just barely leaving that upright.
I would agree, but man,
I mean, I don't know if he could get there, but he's sitting there, he's taking himself out.
Agreed. I totally agree. But this is a jackpot play, no doubt about it, and.
Let's all agree on this.
It's probably the R's responsibility for A, the goal line, B, the catch. But when we are in a routine, and this is not a routine play, we have said many times we've got to protect that quarterback, and the quarterback here is exposed. So one of many flaws of the 5-man.
So this is Richie Hahn. I want to jump in on this if you don't mind asking some questions. And believe it or not, so this is I'll throw myself under the bus. I'm the U on this specific play, and we talked about it afterwards. When we got the video, we were able to look at it. And yeah, our back wing didn't get over enough. But my question is for me, and I want to talk specifically about me being the umpire. In this specific play, would it have been appropriate in the 5-man crew for me as the official or the umpire? My apologies, to take 2 steps forward and stand on the goal line and help out with spotting that goal line for the referee on this specific play?
Yep, we expect it.
Yeah,
so I think we talked about earlier about your initial position. I think shading to the referee side is helpful. And once this play starts to develop into a run or pass, stepping up to that goal line and at least cutting the field in half and helping with a spot on action at the goal, I think staying 2 yards in the end zone in this particular situation, you'd probably agree, it puts you really in no man's land, not really providing much of anything for anybody. So yeah, we like that on a running play if you can. Now, a lot of times there's too much traffic too.
Right. I think our mechanics are that the referee has the pylon and the sideline, and the U is primarily responsible for that goal line, because the referee is behind the line of scrimmage. He's not going to beat that runner there. Especially if there's a pass. There's no way he's going to get to that goal line first. He just needs to be ready, if he can, to rule on the sideline. Like we've said, this one's a hard one because his first responsibility is that quarterback. He's got to watch that quarterback. If that ball was near the sideline, near that pylon, and he doesn't turn in time to see it, I don't fault the referee for that at all, because he's watching that quarterback first.
Right.
And that's why I think that wing that was under the upright needs to make a more initial effort to at least get over there, even if he's not on the sideline. That way he can at least help that referee saying, here's what happened over on that sideline.
What we don't want is to have that wing come into the end zone, though. He's got to stay on the end line.
Right on the end line. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And it brings up the 50-50 call. Should the umpire go underneath and we keep the wings on the wings?
Hickey. We said we weren't going to go there.
Sorry, my bad. Oh, look at the time. Wow, my bad.
Now this play, there's no way you're going to know that this is going to happen until it happens.
Obviously, right. So, my apologies.
No, it's just,
sorry. No,
we can all agree this is just a tough one.
We just need that upright judge for every game now. That sixth guy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I just saw Pat Klein's comment that the referee comes in instead of just staying put.
Yeah,
that didn't help him out at all. But
right
again, that distance is your friend. I like he's wide, starts out wide, but moving in right there is probably not the best.
We've talked a lot about that distance and width. Give yourself the biggest vision that you can.
I think he was anticipating the tackle, and he just kind of got a little over.
You're right. I agree.
So we're going to go. This is Rick Rouse working.
Oh my God, Rick Rouse was working this game.
1967.
Yes.
So I threw this in here. It was in my arsenal of plays. It happens to be a kicker that kicks, and this ball must either hit the rear end of one of his linemen or something comes ricochets right back into his hands, and he runs down the sideline. It's interesting to see these old officials and their mechanics. You'll see the wing, this NFL wing, run down the sideline, signal, and then pose for the camera instead of watching the players out of bounds.
And to be clear, that was not Rick who posed.
Oh, it was not. Oh,
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Rick?
Okay. All right, we've got okay, so this message on this one, let me see if let's get it all started at the beginning here. All right, so we've got a snapper, a holder, and kicker. We're going to kick it from about the 25. I think the referee still moving. I think we need to be set and in good position wide. So this ball, what appears to me is that it was going to be a fake, but not everybody was ready for the fake. So you see the ball snap directly to the kicker. Now the kicker's kind of doing what the hell do I do with this ball? Referee gets caught up in the mix. The kicker actually does a little, I'm getting tackled, I'll just throw the ball out to somebody. I don't know if it was complete or not. If it's completed, it's a loss of about 20 yards. If it's incomplete, the preference of the receiving team, it's incomplete. We talked about if this is an ineligible receiver or eligible or it's intentional grounding and all sorts of combinations. I think, Lewis, I'm going to give that comment to you in a sec, but I want you to watch. And I'm going to call out our near wing official. On these scoring plays, you solo wing officials that are at the line of scrimmage have a lot of work to do. And the one thing that you do not have to worry about is any action behind the line of scrimmage from a progress standpoint. It just doesn't matter to you. The spot is not significant. So we're going to have our eyes up and watch the snapper. I'll see if I can call him out here. We're going to find him right in here. Now, maybe this umpire could get this, but we're just not in the mindset to pay attention to this number 5 downfield with his arm up. It is important to note that even though he's downfield 12 yards wanting the ball passed to him, oh, and by the way, it looks like our wing is out of position. This whole thing is just kind of crazy. Our wing is running onto the field to get under the post. The back judge, I don't think, was under post either. But the fact is, when this ball is passed, it's not passed beyond the line of scrimmage. So again, the wing, you have to come in and understand that if the ball is not thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter if number 5 was downfield 12 yards. So we do not have an ineligible downfield on this play. The ball was never passed beyond the line of scrimmage. Lewis, you got any comments on maybe what you would do to handle this kind of goofy stuff right at the end?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if the referee can do much different because he's backpedaling. He's got his eyes on the play. He's doing what he can to keep up with it. When we're talking about that dump, he's got to be aware of kind of a couple situations. First, he's the only one right now that's going to know if that quarterback or the holder was trying to just dump it or if he was really trying to get it to the receivers. I mean, the way he's backpedaling the person that threw the ball, he's not going to get a good pass off. So the referee's going to have a lot of judgment calls of, was he trying to dump it, or was he making a legitimate attempt to throw it to somebody? And making sure that are there eligibles there? Is it possible that the quarterback thought there was eligibles there and there wasn't? Because it's illegal to intentionally throw where there's no eligible receivers if he didn't intentionally throw there. There's a lot of things that only the referee can really gauge, because he's going to be the one watching that. So I like Rick made a point that he should be wider. I agree with that. But he was watching the play. I think he did what he could given the situation to keep things in, and I don't think he was rushing. I think he was doing what he could in this kind of crazy situation here. And hopefully he took a second afterwards to kind of just observe what was going on around him to make sure that there was nothing funky going on.
Anybody else have anything on this that we always talk about pregame, knowing what kicker, right-footed kicker, that far wing is going to go under the post. Obviously, somebody was surprised here that they were in kicking formation, but we got to be on high alert. It's fourth down. I don't know why we wouldn't have thought through that they might be kicking it. But anybody, any comments? Even in the audience, anything you see that we can do different or better, or what ifs on this?
Yeah, this is a big pregame thing. Just know the direction that you're going, and if there's a possibility of kick, hey, if I need to be underneath, make sure you're getting underneath.
Yeah. All right. So this is Joe Milburn. I was hoping he could join us tonight he's down in Durango. So this was a playoff game that I pulled out of the library, and we're going to see the holder stay on his knee and toss the ball to the kicker. Kicker muffs the ball. The receiving team scoops it and runs, and the white hat correctly blows the whistle, dead. They bring it back. It was fourth down, so play is over. As soon as that holder does anything with his knee on the ground, anything except put the ball on the ground, as soon as he tosses that forward or back, the play is over. I would even go as far to say, if this was third down, this play is over right now, and the clock is still running. So it would be a running play that's ended because his knee was on the ground.
Agreed.
So we always talk about. I've been on some crews where the white hat and I, as an umpire, we mention the knee, because that knee is a critical element of this play. And if his knee is on the ground when he does something else with it, now you can imagine the receiving team's head coach went ape doo-doo on this, because he thinks that we had an inadvertent whistle because they scooped and scored, and we blew the whistle. So he had to be calmed down a bit, but they did it correct. Anything else or what ifs on this you'd like to add, Lewis? Or
no, and I think he did. You can't really hear it, but I'm assuming that he continued blowing that whistle as he ran down the field, just to keep it going. And strictly, if you wanted to go really strict, you could have probably thrown a flag for a delay of game on that runner for continuing well after the whistle. I think it's smart not to, because he's excited. He's probably confused at, wait, why is he blowing the whistle? Well, I'm just going to keep going just in case. But we still want to keep blowing that whistle, because that lets him know, hey, we're really serious. Stop running. And it just lets everyone know that whatever happens after this point isn't going to matter. And then you can deal with it afterward. There's no, if you're blowing that whistle, there's no way the coach could say, well, he didn't hear the whistle. Well, yeah, he heard the whistle.
I think it becomes I appreciate the comment, because a lot of times we'll think, well, we're going to throw a delay of game on this. I think we kind of stay out of that mess here, not punishing for thinking he's doing the right thing to get to the end zone. I have seen that the player now stand at the end zone with his hands up, like, are you kidding me? That's when I think we start getting into maybe a little more nonsense. But yeah, just to punish him for scooping and score, and I don't know that I'd want to call a 5-yard delay on that.
Yeah, and I think a critical thing here is if he's still running, it's possible some of these other players are still chasing, running, blocking. We need to even though we're blowing the whistle, killing it, continue to officiate just to make sure nothing stupid happens behind the play too.
Let's see if we got anything at the beginning of this. So we've got so we had, it's a pretty long field goal, I think a smaller school. You can see the near wings heading to the post, maybe a little bit late as well.
A good situation here on a field goal. Stay off the whistle.
Let's see. I've got a couple more minutes here. This is going to be a blocked. Okay, so let's. We're going to talk a little bit of a rule analysis on this one. So I'll stop this and back it up. So what we're going to have is a field goal attempt from the 20. Kicker is going to kick it. It's going to get blocked at the line of scrimmage. Ball is, I think it's about right here. And you're going to see big number 77 look up and catch the ball and score. Actually, it might be a different number. Almost looks like an eligible number after I see that. So what's our ruling on this, Scott Lewis?
Yeah, so
can he advance this ball?
And the answer is kind of tough to answer just on the film because it all depends on where the player is in relation to the line of scrimmage and the neutral zone. Because if K catches it in or behind the neutral zone, then he can advance. If he's beyond the neutral zone, he cannot advance. And in this play, with the angle of the film and not being completely clear on where it is, it's hard to tell. This is one where the wing official might need to help out and just say, where was he when he caught that ball? Because that wing should be right on that line of scrimmage. And it looks like the referees came to talk about something afterwards. So maybe they were talking about that specific thing. But, it's because the rule is in or behind the neutral zone. That means that it's not the line of scrimmage. He has that 1 football width belt that he can also catch it in. But if he's downfield, then he can't. So this is a good one to come and talk about it to see where he was. Let the play go in this case if you're not sure, because you can go talk to it. I'd rather let it play out and talk and say no, it was caught beyond the neutral zone than to kill it and take away a score that they earned.
Good point. Be better to bring this back then.
What was the ruling?
Touchdown. I think the more I look at it, I think this is a Rich Zernicke. I think I'm the umpire, and I think Zernicke is the white hat in this game. But yeah, we came together to ask the wing, and again, that wing has a lot to do on scoring kicks. They really need to stay home, but be aware of where that line to gain is.
Yeah, this is a tough call. This is.
Anybody else got anything on this that it's all about where he catches that blocked kick?
And one other thing that's important is that the number doesn't matter because an ineligible number has no bearing on a kick. Anybody can catch a blocked kick. It doesn't even matter if he went downfield, any of that, because the eligibility stuff only applies to forward passes.
Absolutely.
It'd be the same thing if he advanced it 6 yards and got a first down, not a score, got a first down. It's still a first down. It's just like a running play at this point.
Correct. And because it was blocked behind the line of scrimmage, that block has no bearing on our touching the ball. So it's not, if K catches it, they'd still have to advance to the line to gain. It wouldn't be an automatic first down for them. That only applies if R touches it beyond the neutral zone.
Here we've got a bad snap. We've got a kicker who's trying to handle it, kind of does a half-ass attempt to throw it, but fumbles it, and we go 87 yards the other direction. This is why we do our preseason physical. See if we can make it 90 yards the other direction. Good position. I think the umpire is good and wide. Rouse wants to know why all this stuff is DPS. Yeah, they need to practice their field goal attempts maybe a little more. I don't know that there's much to dwell on this one. So I'm going to finish this up. We're going to finish about 5 minutes early here. So in a series of plays that I've collected over the years, the college level rules are different with the holder. The holder can toss the ball to the kicker. And so I've got some plays where the holder in this case, just hands it off to the kicker, and he runs it off tackle. Okay, run this again. So you'll see him just literally hand the ball off to the kicker. The hole opens up, off tackle, scores a touchdown. I'm showing you these because high school coaches and players will watch this and think that they can do it as well. So here's another one where the holder just pops the ball up over his head to the kicker, who must have some pretty decent speed, and wins the race to the pylon. Cannot do this stuff in high school. We blow it dead as soon as that ball is tossed from the holder's knee. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I'll give Lewis and Hickey. Lewis first. Any final parting thoughts on fake field goal stuff?
No, just from my perspective, always come into these field goal plays as if there's going to be a problem. Then you're ready for them. If you just expect the routine play, that's when you get caught off guard. I mean, just come into every play just expecting, well, what will happen if this happens? What will happen if that happens? And be ready to move. And then if it's a routine play, it's easy. Always be ready for the unexpected.
Good comment. Hickey? I wonder if your mic is muted. I think we lost Hickey's mic. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap that up tonight. Appreciate y'all joining us. We're still hoping and assuming we're going to play a season. So appreciate your attendance. You guys have a good night. Again, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kirk.